How's it going, guys? Welcome to my kitchen here. Today we're going to be learning how to make cheesy potatoes, also known as potato aligot in French, using these golden potatoes. To start off, we're going to peel 6 of these potatoes. Then we're going to cut the potatoes in quarters so that they cook faster. You want to remove the skin because it makes the potato really creamy in the end. Make sure you check for your potatoes for any skins that you forgot to leave off, like this one right here. We're going to put the stove on high and we're going to let these potatoes cook for a while, adding a little bit of coarse kosher salt in there. Cover the pot with a lid and we're going to let it boil for about 20 minutes or until they become fork tender. Now to start on the cheese portion, I'm going to be using 16 ounces of the block mozzarella. Now if you have a cheese grater, I would highly recommend using that instead of this mandolin. But this is the only thing I have, and that's the thing I stole from my mom's house, so this is what I'm going to use. When I say you should get a cheese grater, I really mean you should get a cheese grater. This thing hurt my forearms a lot. After which you can see the fruits of our labor, beautifully shredded mozzarella. You want to use your own shredded mozzarella because the pre-bought ones usually have starch on it, which doesn't let it melt. Put that aside and we're going to be checking on our potatoes. You can check the potatoes if they're done by using the fork. If you use a fork and it goes through, that means it's done. We're going to drain the potatoes in a colander, bring the pot back. To get that nice silky texture in a potato, I'm going to be using a fine mesh sieve. You can use a potato ricer if you have one, but I don't have one since I'm poor, so I'm going to be using this thing. And let me tell you something, this also hurts my forearms a lot. We're going to push it through the fine mesh using a wooden spoon until all the potatoes are through. After putting all the potatoes through the fine mesh, we're going to turn the heat on low and we're going to give it a low taste. Yep, pretty good. And we're going to add about a half a cup of butter into the pot. We're going to stir the pot around to make the butter all nice and melty. Hey, I never said this thing was going to be healthy at all, right? Next, we're going to add heavy cream. I don't know how much this is. I bought it at HEB. Please don't hurt me. It's the smallest one. I don't know what it is. We're going to slowly add the heavy cream into there, mixing as we do it so that we don't get any clumps. After which, you should be gifted with the most creamy rich potato you have ever seen in your life. So now, we're going to add our long-awaited cheese that we're going to add in batches and keep stirring until we're rewarded with the most cheesiest cheese stretch that you have ever seen in your life, like this. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Now, I might as well make this a whole meal, so I'm going to be cooking a little bit of steak here. Drizzle a little bit of olive oil into the cast iron until it gets nice and hot and lay the steak away from you. Press the steak right into the cast iron so it gets a nice crust formed. We're going to leave it on the first side for about 3 minutes so we get a nice crust. After which we're going to flip the steak over and leave it on this side for about 2 minutes while we butter baste it. Adding a couple tablespoons into the cast iron, let the butter heat up, and we're just going to be basting the steak over for about 2 minutes until we get that nice rich flavor. We're going to let the steak sit for about 10 minutes on a plate, adding all the nice juice that we left in there. Then it's time to plate up. After you let the steak rest for about 10 minutes, we're going to put the potatoes on the plate for the final presentation. Now, I think it's delicious because I made it myself, but to make it unbiased, I brought my roommate over for him to taste. When he tasted it, he said it was pretty good, which is rare because he's real picky on what he eats.